And so I'd been wanting to know for years,
Why?
how many hours of parental sleep is lost per life saved?
Whoa.
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to put it in context.
Yeah.
And so, I'd quit my job and I was like, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
So I spent like a week just like reading like a lot of papers, like doing some estimates. And then I wrote like a Twitter thread that went viral.
Wow.
What's the answer?
What's the answer? Yeah.
It's in the ballpark of like 40,000 hours of parental sleep lost per life saved.
40,000? Today on the podcast, we have Ruth Grace Wong, a fellow Chinese-Canadian immigrant to the Bay Area.
Ruth is one of our most prolific side project friends and also one of our most prolific parent friends. Sometimes those two identities intersect, like when she builds kids' play areas in community spaces in her efforts to make San Francisco a more kid-friendly city.
In today's episode, we discuss joyful parenting and how a brief stint in hospice care shifted her towards an anti-perfectionist mindset.
Let's get into it. Have you been on other podcasts before? I feel like you have.
No?
Really?
Is this your first podcast appearance?
I've watched a couple episodes, that's it. I mean, listened.
But I'm just surprised that you haven't been interviewed on podcasts before. It just seems like
On a podcast?
Yeah.
You've been on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody from school had a podcast and interviewed me.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
I think if you Google my name, it's like from med hopeful to like software engineer, something like that.
That checks out. I think it would have been actually pretty hard for me to guess what you were interviewed for. Because there's like 7 or 8 different things I can imagine being plausible.
Yeah. I might, the youth council from San Francisco League of Women Voters wants to interview me for their podcast.
See?
It's Learn with the League, if anyone wants to check that out.
Learn with the League. Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's it about?
Voting, democracy.
Like more young people? Getting more young people to vote?
Yeah, the youth council is people in high school and I think college.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But I think mostly high school.
How would you stack rank your current interests? You just have so many that I feel like they just are constantly fighting
Kids
for
are
attention.
probably at the top.
Okay, great. Kids number 1.
I think if I was trying to be correct, my husband should be the second one.
On the record, it's my husband.
Well, because in reality, when you've got a bunch of things that you're balancing, like whatever you're doing in the current moment is just going to be one of the many things, right? It's not necessarily going to be like your top priority.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Okay.
Definitely if my relationship with my husband is not good, then I'm like really sad and it makes me like unable to do like as much other stuff.
Right.
Okay.
It's like important foundation to be able to like function as a human and all the other things. All right, what else? What is, if we keep moving down the list, like what's like 3 and 4 right now for you?
So I quit my job a couple months ago.
wild.
Yeah.
Huge, okay.
Yeah, I'd been working for 8 years at the same company.
Yes.
Whoa.
A social media company.
Congratulations.
It was my first job out of college. So
Yeah.
Wow.
I got my green card.
Congratulations, welcome to the club.
Thank you. I got a lot
Honestly,
of mat leave, very
Yeah.
good parental benefits at this social media company. I've got 3 kids for the viewers that don't know.
Yeah.
And so it's been really cool to just like, I also have full-time childcare. So I'm not like just taking care of the kids during the day. I can really just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
This is the first like break I've had, because when you're on maternity leave, you still have the baby.
Right.
I've been treating that as like my break, but it's like,
not
like having a
really.
real break is like really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, a break where you never get to sleep more than 4 hours is like not a normal definition of a break.
That's a different full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like one of those jobs where the hours are all over the place and you don't know your schedule in advance.
Yeah. Okay, so what have you been doing in this break then?
I think I've just kind of been being a full-time nerd. So I spent 2 weeks on ballot simplification committee in San Francisco, and like, to visualize this, it's like me and me and 4 other people, and we're just arguing over a Google Doc for 2 weeks. That's like what I was doing. We make sure that the ballot is written at an 8th grade reading level. That's the role of the committee.
Wow. So everyone understands.
Yeah. So the city attorney's office comes out with the draft, and then we simplify it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think you showed me like early versions of this that were like quote unquote at an 8th grade level, and you were like, this is not close.
You're gonna read the ballot and like be mad at me, and you're gonna be like, this is not at an 8th grade level. It's hard. I mean, it's like, you know, the longest one was 100 and something pages of legal documents. So
Wow.
it's hard. Yeah, and it like when it's just about one thing, then it's pretty easy to write something simple. But if it's got many different things and aspects of it, and like it, like if this then that, then like that's when it's just really hard.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for the voter.
So are you doing this out of like deep empathy for the voter then? You're like, man, this is hard. Let me try to make this vaguely plausible for you.
There's two reasons. One, I'm Canadian, and so I can't vote. But you know, I've got kids here. I like deeply care about how the city is and how it's run and all that. And so I wanted to find some way to participate without being able to legally vote. And so I found this. So I can vote for SF school board. So you have to be an SF voter to join the ballot simplification committee. And I am, because non-citizens can vote for school board.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Non-citizens with dependents.
Wait, so this is voter in the like widest definition? Like you need to be able to vote for something at the city level?
I don't make the rules. They let me be on this committee, and I'm very happy.
Okay, cool.
And I love it because I also edit Wikipedia, which is a similar kind of you laughing at me?
Nerdy outlet. Yeah.
I was a part-time nerd, and now I'm a full-time nerd.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's like a similar kind of deliberative writing process, and so I was right. I loved it. It was great being on ballot simplification committee.
I love how the idea of transitioning out of being a software engineer is like, now I'm a full-time nerd, whereas before the software engineering part, that was not that nerdy. That was insufficiently nerdy.
It's not nerdy if you don't get to pick what you're nerding on.
Whoa. Wow.
You just want to like directly follow the gradient of curiosity.
You to do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote a Twitter thread. I'd been dying to know this for a few years. So my second child, he's 3 now. He wouldn't sleep on his back. And they tell you have to sleep your baby on their back so that they don't get SIDS. And I'd been wanting to know, babies don't sleep as well on their backs as on their bellies. And so I've been wanting to know for years how many hours of parental sleep is lost per life saved.
Whoa.
I just wanted to know. I just wanted to put it in context.
Yeah.
And so, I'd quit my job and I was like, I can figure this out.
Yeah.
So I spent like a week just like reading like a lot of papers and like doing some estimates. And then I wrote like a Twitter thread that went viral.
Wow.
What's the answer?
Yeah.
It's in the ballpark of like 40,000 hours of parental sleep loss per life saved.
40,000?
Yeah, okay, so SIDS is pretty rare.
Yeah.
And it goes from about 11 out of 10,000 babies to 3 out of 10,000 babies sleeping on their back. Sleeping on the belly versus their back. So it's reduced 3 times if you sleep on their back. And this recommendation has saved thousands of babies' lives per year in the States. Babies sleep. So when they're newborn, they're very sleepy, and then when they're about 6 months old, this is like when people usually say like, oh, you can like sleep train them.
Yeah.
When they're 6 months old, how they sleep is more related to whether or not you're in the room when they fall asleep, or whether you can put them in bed and they can fall asleep by themselves, like whether or not they're sleep trained. But it's the period in between that where there is a difference in terms of like back sleeping and belly sleeping, so around 3 or 4 months. And also for breastfeeding versus formula feeding. So with formula at that age, they generally drink a little bit more each time and then have a bit longer time between feeds. And so the longest sleep of the night tends to be a little bit longer, around 3 or 4 months. And so for each baby, on average, if you're compared to 40 years ago, you're putting your baby to sleep on their back instead of their belly, and you're breastfeeding instead of formula feeding. A parent over those couple months, they're losing 34 hours of sleep. The parents are compared to 40 years ago. So it's actually empirically harder to care for a newborn baby now than it used to be. And I know people talk a lot about like the social factors, like you don't have as much family support and like friend support. Not so many people are having kids, so you don't have as much of a community. And we also like are not as good at community anymore compared to 40 years ago. But empirically, it's also harder. It's not just a cultural thing. Right.
So the general standard for things has risen. Like I've heard of this applied in the same way where even though we have like lots of tools for cleaning houses, the general like standard of cleanliness has risen so much that people spend more time doing housework than they did before.
That's not true.
Oh,
40 years
interesting.
ago,
Okay.
So there's a great book, and maybe we can add the name in post.
Sure.
That looks at 40 years of time diaries.
Okay, wow.
So 40 years ago, people spent less focused, stay-at-home moms, so mostly stay-at-home moms 40 years ago, spent less time doing focused childcare. Focused childcare means you're taking care of your kids and you're not, like you might be cooking and keeping an eye on your kids, that doesn't count as focused childcare. Then childcare is like your secondary activity, right? So they spent less time on focused childcare than working moms do today.
Right. So this was the statistic that I heard.
Yes.
I was just misremembering it.
Okay, and I was like, what were they doing with their time?
Yeah.
And it was 30 hours a week on housework, on chores, cooking, cleaning, and we spend about half that now. And in fact, so there's single moms and then there's married moms, and the amount of housework used to be, married moms was double, single moms, and now it's like become the same. So in my head, I'm like, we just all have the same cleanliness standards now.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, so what actually accounts for that difference in like active childcare hours then?
Like, why are people doing more childcare?
Yeah, I mean, like,
harder?
right, like, is it purely that like the social standard of like what is acceptable as a parent has like risen in a significant way where like you can't just be like, I spend like half an hour. Okay.
I think so. I think you can't leave your kid in the car for longer than a minute. Like people will call the cops.
Right.
What else? I think that neighborhoods are not designed for kids. Like 40 years ago, you get off school as a kid and then you're just running around the neighborhood with your friends and like, that's fine. You know a lot of the different people who live in the different houses in the neighborhood, and people like somebody knows where you are somewhere, and like that's fine. That's like good enough, right? But you can't do that here. It's dangerous.
But is that like an era difference? Like part of this is like distorted for me because like I grew up in the suburbs and now I live in like a city. So I can't tell how much of that is like suburban versus urban divide versus like generational changes.
Was it that way where you grew up, where you could play with your friends after school?
Yeah.
And was there always a grown-up, or was there like not necessarily a grown-up and you could just do whatever you wanted amongst your friends?
So I grew up right next to a big park. Oh. And like I would just like run out into the park, and sometimes there were people playing basketball right there, and like maybe I would join in with them.
And what age?
I think that the earliest memories I have of this, I probably would have been like 7 or 8. I would have gone out in the winter. There was like a skating rink in the park right next to me.
That's amazing.
And then there was like a pickup hockey game that was just neighborhood kids all coming together and then playing.
That's fantastic. So like legally, you're not supposed to leave a kid alone until they're 12. And then for some reason, all of a sudden when they turn 12, not only are they allowed to be alone, but they can also babysit.
That's such a funny transition. Just like you go directly from not being able to take care of yourself to like, now it's fine if you're responsible for another small child.
Right. Exactly.
That's so bizarre. Is that American law or Canadian law or both?
I think both.
Okay. Fascinating.
Yeah.
When was that like a legal change recently, or has that always been the case and people shouldn't really care?
I don't know. We should fact check that.
More things to do in our spare time.
This episode is going to be way more research heavy than any of our other episodes.
That's true.
We just need to Google and be like, okay, Google, like, what's the legal age for leaving your kid alone in Canada?
We need to have like a Google thing on demand, and we have to mic it too.
Yes. So it can be it's like our fourth personality.
Yeah, exactly.
AI will be a guest.
Yeah. Whoa.
In this show.
That seems like it'll happen eventually.
Yeah, definitely.
My kids have figured out Google. It's like hilarious.
How do they interact with it?
So my husband has like a silly name for himself. And so you can go like, okay, Google, what's my name? And so when my 5-year-old does it, it says Ruth Wong.
Right.
It thinks he's me.
Right.
And then the 3-year-old did it. He was like, hey, Google, what's my name? And then Google said, you are a person.
What?
Isn't that wild? I guess that's the default. It was correct.
That's a really creepy answer for what's my name.
Yes.
Like it's like squarely in uncanny valley. It's just like, okay,
It's
so you
probably,
like,
you know, they initialize the variable.
Yeah.
The minimum. Yeah.
they did better than your name is null. So like, all right, I'll give them some points there, having at least a sane default. But it's like very uncanny valley to me. It's like, okay, like I know what you mean, but a human would never say that. Like it's just not in the menu of options at all. It's so wild. Yeah.
They can like prank me with Google too. They're like, okay, Google, like play Paw Patrol music or whatever, fine. And then they're like, okay, Google, turn the volume to 100%. I'm like, oh no. And then it's like so loud, I can't, like, it won't respond to my voice. Is it one of your phones responding
Something
to me?
just got.
It's probably my phone.
I heard sure, yeah, it's probably your phone.
So Paw Patrol music's about to come on.
Oh God.
But yeah, when they turn the volume to 100%, the Google can't hear your voice anymore. And so then you have to physically like find the device and like turn the volume down.
Oh, that's so loud. They figured that's the ultimate hack.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate prank. You can't correct it easily.
I'm like, guys, we have neighbors. Stop.
That's funny. How old is your eldest now?
5. He just started kinder.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
If you meet him, he'll immediately tell you this fact about himself.
I'm in kindergarten now.
Exactly.
He's like, I'm basically an adult.
I love the age of kids where you ask them their age and they're like, I'm 5 3/4. I'd be like, oh, that's so cute. You think that's relevant right now? Like, you know, as a proportion of your life, I guess it is relevant,
Yeah.
I mean, there's like studies that show that if you're born earlier in the birth year for school, you like do better. You're less likely to be diagnosed with like learning disabilities and stuff like that.
That's unfortunate.
Is it from Outliers? I remember like reading this a really long time ago.
I don't know.
And I'm just like
It might be, yeah.
generally suspicious of.
Really?
Well, I mean, there's like I'm blanking. What's the name of the author of Outliers? Malcolm Gladwell has like a storied history of like minorly bending the truth to fit a narrative better.
Oh.
So
He's an artist.
yeah, like he doesn't like it's not like fully made up like from
Lie.
it's not totally made up, but it's always like like
A little bit.
you really have to do a pretty selective interpretation of this to create this narrative that you want to create here.
Got it. That makes sense.
Which I mean, you know, as you saw in the ballot simplification committee, whenever you try to compact a complex thing into like a short pithy thing, you always lose some stuff. So maybe that's all that's happening. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same on Twitter. Once you get to a certain level of virality, then people are commenting, did SIDS start happening at the same time as vaccines? Oh, God. Like, no, stop. It's not how that works.
Gosh, yeah.
Wow.
I can't remember where I was reading with this, but it's just like a funny thing that as you scale up in any kind of internet thing, you can just like fairly predictably figure out when weird stuff's going to happen, because it's just literally like how many standard deviations out from like normal opinions do you get? And like if you get to enough people, eventually the number of people that are above like 3 standard deviations out goes above 1. And then you have one person that's willing to comment some absolutely unhinged opinion just by sheer like random distribution.
Right.
So it's just like an unavoidable thing that you will eventually, no matter what domain you start in, if it gets sufficiently viral, you will hit anti-vaxxers. Like it's just inevitable.
Do you ever wonder how much of it is disinformation as opposed to misinformation? Like people are like if it's like a Russian account.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
Or retweeting it or something.
I don't know. I'm like pretty, yeah. I mean, you okay. I do wonder about this sometimes, but you have actual opinions about this because like this is what you're doing research on for a while, right?
This is like a hobby. I read other people's papers. I'm not like writing papers myself.
Okay.
Wait, where on the stack rank is reading papers?
What do you mean?
In what domain?
Yeah.
I think reading papers is just something you do as a means to an end. It depends on what you're trying to do, right?
Oh, I
you,
see.
really want to know something.
I see. I thought we had stumbled on another entry because we were talking before about like your list of priorities, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought reading papers was going to be one of them.
I think
interesting,
it's
kind of
scattered
like
over many, right? Like,
sorry?
I'm guessing reading papers is scattered over many priorities. For instance,
Yeah, that's great.
Like curiosity in your kids, like the one you just gave. That's like it's one element there. There's like disinformation is another thing there. I'm guessing that like you read papers probably about political science stuff sometimes as well, right?
Yeah. My husband was reading a paper yesterday. One of our kids is allergic to plum.
Okay.
We found this out very recently.
Okay.
And we were trying to figure out like because he's only 3, and we're like, if we give him plum, will he be less allergic like when he's an adult? So we're trying to figure this out because they'll tell you like, oh, don't give it to him, and like here's an EpiPen, but like
right.
It must suck to have an allergy as a grown adult. I don't know if either of you have allergies, but like yeah. I don't want to have to worry about a kid dying from like eating something.
Yeah. As an adult, we learned that the solution is exposure therapy. I guess it's just. Yes, you want to wait until they have developed a certain amount of natural tolerance before you start exposing them to the things that you know they're allergic to.
So the research seems to show that for adults, so I've heard that some people with like a deathly peanut allergy will microdose it, like literally a pinprick of peanuts, and this will work. But the moment they stop microdosing it, the allergy goes back to the way it was before. So I don't think it like if there's anything that like works in a permanent way for adults, but I guess we've got one 3-year-old to try.
You're gonna run the experiment?
He's not deathly allergic to plums.
Right,
he just gets like a rash. Like that's not so bad.
You're like, you're not gonna remember these rashes. I just have a few more of them now.
This is probably not a core memory. This is fine.
Yeah, it's true. Hopefully not, at least.
Yeah. So I did want to ask you about like joyful parenthood. So I know this is like a thing that you've been very specifically trying to like figure out how to make San Francisco a more like habitable place for parents. So like I want to hear a bit about like how you got to like figuring that out as a focus, and also like what has actually worked here. So yeah, you can actually start wherever you want.
Sure. Yeah. So like I obviously have a lot of interests and like things I want to do outside of just my family. And it can be really hard to do that. I feel like it can be really isolating as a parent. Like you go to the playground, like, and like, it's just not where like normal adults hang out, right? You're in this like kid center, that kid like universe. It's in the same city, but it's somehow separate from like your friends who don't have kids. And, and I didn't like that. Like I felt I'm pretty sure that I won't be much better than a mediocre mom. Like it's not gonna be one of my core strengths. Like I'm just gonna be a regular mom. I'm not gonna be like particularly good or anything. And so and it's important to me to be good at stuff. And if that's not gonna be momming, then I would like to be able to also, you know, maintain my hobbies and like have a job that I can feel like I'm good at and competent. But I also want to be a parent. Like I want to be involved. I like having my kids around. I like them to see that I'm doing other stuff as well, other than just being their mom. I think that's like good for them to be exposed to the different things that adults can do and figure out what they like. And also that like adults have a universe outside of them. Right. Like I think that's good perspective. And so my friend Emily and I have been thinking about how to make like physical infrastructure to support this. So do you have a space? Maybe it's at a restaurant, maybe it's like a co-working or event space, and it's got like a little kids corner or a playpen or something with toys. So your kids have something to do, but you can also like, because they have something to do, you can have like a conversation with your friend. You could maybe collaborate on something. You could read a book or like something like that. And so that's kind of the dream. Just to have more of these.
Fascinating.
So we all grew up in Toronto.
I grew up in Ottawa.
Oh, you grew up in Ottawa. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of vague.
I forgot that.
Yeah, that's all right.
There was McDonald's in Toronto when I was growing up that would have the play place.
Yeah.
Play place.
Yeah, and I wish they had that here.
Oh, whoa.
Like my kids eat so well at McDonald's, and like if there's like a thing they can play, then I can sit. And McDonald's has Wi-Fi. You can, like, there's no Wi-Fi at the playground.
Yeah.
But there is a McDonald's, and like that would just be so nice, just to have like I'm parenting, but I can like chill a little bit, you know?
So it's interesting that like it sounds like so far the approach you've taken is like looking at adult infrastructure and being like, there should just be a slot for kids here, like for them to interact with each other, to be safe here. But it sounds like there's another angle here of like, what if there was Wi-Fi at the playground? You know, like what if you could attach adult infrastructure into those spaces? Is that also a thing that you've looked into?
It's hard. So all of the playgrounds in San Francisco, you'll see they say adults must be accompanied by children. And I think that's basically like another way of saying homeless people are not supposed to sleep here.
Interesting.
And so I think adding Wi-Fi would be on the wrong side of that equation.
I see.
Unfortunately.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's wild considerations.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's probably a way to do it like secretly. Just tell your friend.
There's like a parent-only access code.
Yeah.
Give it to you at the hospital when your child is born. Here's the secret parent Wi-Fi network.
It's like when you check into a hotel and they hand you the slip, but it's like when you get a baby instead. It's just like, here's a baby.
Can you imagine?
Here's your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Wow.
Oh, man.
So does this mean like, we've talked a lot about how you try to find, I guess, like you time as you're parenting. Does that also mean that there's a flip side where you also will schedule just like hanging out with my kids time?
Yeah, we have scheduled family time every week.
Wow.
With like all of us together. Yeah.
Interesting.
We've been going swimming. We were going to Mission Pool, but then the schedule's changed. Now we're going to Hamilton Pool Friday evenings.
Wow.
It's really nice. There's the pool, and then outside there's like a playground. And then actually, if you cross the street, there's another playground.
You found the spot.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And there's a McDonald's really close to there. My kids always eat well at McDonald's. And they always eat well after swimming.
Wow. Yeah, it's cool that you're so intentional about it. Because I mean, I don't know that many parents personally yet, but I don't think I've heard any of them talk about it so intentionally. I think as like you are in terms of structuring your time. Yeah, just like I have dedicated family time, and then I have like Ruth time for Ruth projects, and then it's like a block intentionally, at least conceptually, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like my impression of it has always been that like it just blends together. Like once you have kids, that it's just they kind of infiltrate like every part of your life, and you're kind of always hanging out with your kids.
But having a schedule is awesome because then you can plan. You can be like, I'm having dinner with my friend, and it's okay because it's Tuesday and that's my day off.
Right.
Yeah. Or like my husband likes to play video games with like his brothers and other friends. So it's like that's his thing.
Nice.
Yeah. The thing with having a schedule where sometimes you're on break and kid free is that the other side of it is you have to be good at taking all of the kids by yourself so that your partner can have a break.
And you guys coordinate that as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And I wrote like a blog post about this, how to do it, because I don't see that many families doing it.
I was gonna say, like, do you like my impression as a third party is that it's uncommon, but it sounds like you as well. Like it's hard to find other families who approach it in a similar way.
People just don't have that many kids in the city. Anytime I meet somebody that has 3 kids, I'm like, can I have your number?
Based on this alone, we're gonna be friends. I can already tell.
That's true. Like 1 is more common. 2.
1 and 2. Most people want 2, I think, but 1 is not uncommon.
So when it's just you taking care of them, how do you prevent them ganging up on you and causing trouble?
So the like TLDR of my blog post is that we try to take them to enclosed playgrounds.
Okay. So
Because then you can like you don't have to like make sure that nobody's like running off onto the road, right? You can like kind of relax a little bit. Like even if you can't see them, they're probably inside the thing somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, that would be my main tip.
Gotcha. I think you said earlier was really interesting to me about how part of why you like really motivated to like add children's spaces into the more adult places is that you're like, I'm probably going to be a mediocre mom, which I think is like a very unusual take to just like own that.
Agree.
And like I respect it because like I think that by definition, everyone should on average assume they're going to be mediocre at this.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like that is like very, very contra.
Also, the mediocre mom is an amazing mom. Like
Yeah,
Exactly.
But it's like I think it's like very contra general Western like mentality, but I think it's especially contra like Silicon Valley, where like everyone's like, I must be the best at everything I do.
I feel that here. That here. People tend to have kids later here, and I think people tend to. I recently learned the concept of like capstone versus cornerstone. Have you heard of this?
No.
Where if the marriage is the cornerstone of your life, then you get married first, and then you build a life together. But if it's capstone, then you like save up all the money and you get everything ready, and then you get married and have kids. Yeah.
Is it the sequencing difference? I guess like with like a priority difference. I guess like.
I only just like read a Facebook comment about this, so I don't know.
Like one assumes that
but in San Francisco, you meet a lot of people who are capstone.
Right, the capstone parents.
Where they're like, oh, I gotta save up for a house. I gotta buy a house before I have kids.
Right.
like figure it out first, then do the thing. Versus do the thing, then figure it out.
It's like beyond figuring out. Like we had our kids on purpose. Like,
for the record. Yet again.
I worked for a couple years, and I was like, I think we have enough money to have kids. Like, let's do it. Like, I had always known I wanted to have kids, and realized that I wanted kids more badly than most people, but now I do. And my husband was like, sure, like, okay. So we did. We got married, and we had our kid, and we were 26 when he was born.
Right.
And that was, at the time, it was the median for the entire United States. 26 was the median.
Yeah, for the United States.
Yes, for the United States. The United States has aged with me for the maternal median age of first birth. It's now like 31. I'm 32.
Wait, for all the United States?
For all the United States.
Whoa.
That's huge.
I didn't know it shifted that much.
That's like 1 year per year.
I think it's mostly COVID. I think what happened during COVID. So generally people who don't go to college have their kids in their 20s, and people who do go to college have their kids in their 30s. And so you've got this like kind of like bimodal distribution.
Right.
And during COVID, I think what happened is that if you did not go to college, then you had much less job security, right? Like maybe you lost your job, and so you were trying not to have a kid.
Yeah.
But if you did go to college, then you might have been working a job that suddenly became work from home, and then you were like, oh, maybe I could have a kid. Like I could see that happening, and I could stay at home, and that would be nice. And so there was a bump of people having kids like over 30.
Oh, I see. So you're saying one population just became more represented, and the other one became way less represented?
I think that's what happened. I don't have definitive proof, but I wrote a Twitter thread about this.
Therefore,
when we had probably shouldn't say his name, but when we had our second kid in 2021, it was June, and the people at the hospital, they were like, yeah, we're like 20 to 30% more overcapacity this time of year than we normally would be.
Whoa.
Yeah. Babies are very seasonal.
Yeah.
They tend to be conceived in the winter.
I love that. It's a little cold. We're staying in.
But they said for the time of year, it was a bumper crop that year.
I love like all the agriculture analogies. I'm just like picturing, you know how there's like the wheel that shows you like what fruit is in season at any given time? There's like a slot for babies.
Wow.
Oh man. So like in the conversations you've had with, I'm assuming you talk to parent friends like fairly frequently about parenting. Like what are some things that you've noticed that seems like your mentality around this is actually quite different than most parents you interact with in San Francisco?
I think COVID has put a bit of a spin on things. I think, parenting a newborn can already be really isolating, and it was super isolating during COVID. And I think that sucked for people. Like not feeling like they could see their friends safely and all of that, and not being able to meet other parents. Sorry, what was the question?
The question is just like, as you've been talking to like parent friends,
yeah,
what are the differences? Like, you're an uncommon parent in many ways.
Yeah.
And that like you have 3 kids. You had your first one when you were like much younger than
this is uncommon
peers.
for San Francisco.
For San Francisco, yeah. Like, but like it's uncommon among your peer group.
It's normal.
I think it is much easier to become the average of your like small environment rather than the average of your nation. Yeah. So like regardless of what the national averages are, you were doing a thing that was very uncommon in your immediate peer group.
I guess so. I think generally parents tend to befriend other parents who are like the same level of anxiety / chillness or more chill. Because if you're friends with someone who's like more anxious, then it like pulls you in the wrong direction, right?
Right. You feel worse, or like it makes you feel anxious.
Like you feel more guilt or like whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of my friends are also like pretty chill parents.
Gotcha. So you're maybe in the little like chill
we're definitely in the
bubble.
chill part of the spectrum. Yeah. We're on the end. For San Francisco again. Yeah.
When you've been like trying to make some of these spaces more like kid friendly, have you been getting a lot of pushback from places? Or has everyone been like, this is fine, do it?
I mean, if there's any pushback, we can't do it, right? We don't have any like money.
Yeah.
This is all like, we've got one at the Commons, which is a co-working / event space in the in Hayes Valley. And they, what happened was they were like, oh, we've got like a couple $1,000 and we want to do community proposals. And so I was like, we should have a kid space. I was pregnant with my third. I was like, I want a kid space for my mat leave. And so I like put out the proposal and they approved. And I think they gave me like $300, 300, 600. So something like that. I spent more than that to make it. But they let me do it. And now it exists and that's cool. And then with Manny's, I did an exchange. I fixed his election countdown clock.
Oh, that's why you did that. so Manny's is like this like very like politically active cafe. Is that like a fair way of describing it? How would you describe it?
It's a civic gathering space. That's what it says on the side of it.
Civic gathering space.
Yeah.
And say more about what this trade was.
So we wanted to do a meetup during the day, some weekday lunchtime where it's not crazy busy. So they do a lot of events in like the evenings and weekends. We wanted to have a meetup where we could have like a baby pen and toys and a baby bouncer and stuff. And so in exchange for me fixing his sign, he let us do that. And it's still ongoing. They meet, by the time this is out, we're changing the schedule a little bit. They'll be meeting every Thursday. Nice. From 11:30 to 1:30 at Manny's. So if anyone's looking for some parent community, feel free to drop by.
Wait, so normally it's for people who are politically motivated?
It's a third place.
Okay.
And it has a civic engagement slant. That's what I would say.
And also now there's this time and space for parental communities?
We're not like talking about politics.
Right.
Necessarily while
That's
we're there.
what I mean.
We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
And they do have Wi-Fi also.
The recurring theme. Addicted to the internet.
The password is secret. So I don't think regular people can have the Wi-Fi.
Wait, so it literally is a secret parent Wi-Fi.
Secret parent Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
You did it.
Because they're trying to encourage people to like talk to each other.
Right. It's like Manny's secret Wi-Fi. It's not the parent groups, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, it would have been great if you actually did just like secretly install a Wi-Fi that was like only for the parents.
Yeah. So the event, and I probably changed it up, but when we first did it, we called it work and play, so like parents could read, write, or chat while kids play. Mm-hmm. But we just chat. that's how it's ended up. I forget if one of you mentioned about like the cultural change of like more joyful parenting.
Yeah.
So when my friend Emily and I started this, we were like, we want to find the other parents that have hobbies, and like,
yeah.
And then a year later, we were like, there aren't any moms with hobbies. Like,
wow.
No, I mean that was just like our feeling. It's not true. Like a lot of moms have hobbies.
Extremely rare.
Sometimes it's not that it's extremely rare, but if you're in a parenting context, it can be hard to get it out of them.
Oh.
Like what their passion is.
Oh. It's just hidden.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I think a lot of the time that's true.
Okay.
But it is also true that, you know, even though a lot of people have hobbies and passions and stuff, that they're a bit on hold when their kids are young. Yeah. That's like normal. And so kind of my theory, my hypothesis that I'd like to test is, okay, if we give people a space where the kids have something to do and they can kind of like chill and like have a real conversation with their friends that's not super distracted, like maybe then they will remember the stuff that they're passionate and like care about, and maybe like the bottom of the funnel that I want to get people to is that they care so much about their passion, their hobby, whatever, that they start organizing around it, right? They start like running a meetup or like collaborating with someone on a project, and that's what I want people to get to, the point where like I am a parent and I can be a parent, but I can also be doing these other things, and for the benefit of society, right?
So I'm curious, like
civic and social engagement.
That sounds like a beautiful goal. You're trying to like say like, hey parents, you can also still do other things. Also, other people probably do this too. One of the things I can imagine being challenging in that is my experience, whenever I bring together a group of people, if I just like bring them together and then step back, conversation always devolves into the lowest common denominator, which is at a parenting meetup, parenting.
Yeah.
So like, I'm wondering if you've experimented with explicitly pushing the conversation into like those nooks and crannies of hobbies.
I think that work and play meetup was, if I call it work and play, then it is that, but it didn't work out that way.
Wait, did it happen like Jamie was describing? Like it ended up just being parents talking about their kids and parenting?
So now that we've been running it for a while, there's some regulars who like know each other pretty well. And so then it's easier to like jump into like a topic. Yeah.
Interesting. But so when you said that that's not how it played out, do you think it just takes more time to play out?
I think if you're like, hey, you can have young kids and have a hobby, like people inherently feel like that's not true, and they will ignore you. Like they have to like see it to believe it, and they have to feel it to believe it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like the norm is that once you become a parent, you expect to like lose a bit of yourself in the process of parenting.
Yeah, this is something that drives me a little bit crazy about like parenting. I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups and stuff online, and like people will be like, oh, like my kid is not sleeping. I'm so tired. Like, what do I do? And inevitably, you'll get a bunch of people being like, yeah, that's like the, X month regression. Like, sorry, it sucks. Like, we went through it too. Like, good luck. Hang in there. Like, and I'm like, why does it have to suck? Like, yeah, you went through it too, but does it have to be that bad for like this other person? Like, are there some like experiments we could try to make it better? Like, there's definitely an element of like, the more it sucks, the better of a job you're doing.
I see.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild.
So I'm hearing like, it sounds like there's a bit of, on the one hand, like defeatism, where it's just like, it being bad is normal. And then it also sounds like there's a bit of like, I don't know what to call it exactly. It's not exactly martyrdom, but it's like this idea that like if you're not suffering, it's because you're not trying hard enough. And like you're not doing a good enough job, you don't care enough. So it's like a weird like, the thing that comes to mind for me is like almost like hazing rituals. Like where like...
Right, the harder you get hazed, the more you suffer, like the better you are at pledging.
Right, exactly. It's like there's like something similar about that dynamic of like, I went through this, so you have to, and then once you do that, then we can be friends or something like that.
Oh, wait, but that's so fascinating because actually that's actually the point of a hazing ritual.
Yeah.
It's the shared suffering that brings you together.
Right.
Which I guess maybe it's self-fulfilling prophecy.
Nobody's going online posting like, oh, my kid like sleeps 12 hours a night at like 3 months old. Like nobody's doing that.
Right.
Because then people are like, F you, like my kid's not sleeping at all.
Wow. So have you like managed to, it sounds like one of the things that you want to advocate for here is just like, okay, but what if we tried other things that might not suck and they might not work, but they might work?
I think taking more of a step back, so like there's less kids around than there used to be,
right?
And like you really feel it in San Francisco where there's very few children compared to other cities,
right?
And I think like if you're reading, as people do, maybe you're pregnant, maybe you're trying, you like reading online, oh, what's it like to have kids, and the kind of stuff that people like write on the internet is like it's like very negatively skewed, right? Like. Like, because that's when you would go and like rant on the internet. But you don't get those moments of like when you're with the kid and they do something like really silly and really cute and you just have that like joyful feeling. That's really hard to describe and rant about on the internet.
Right.
And there's like this like positivity to the experience of parenting that people I don't think they like know about until they have a kid. Because people in San Francisco are not necessarily spending time with children. And I think, yeah, there's no, I don't know where I'm going with this. Like, I can't be like, well, everyone should have more kids. But it would be nice if there was more around and if they were like more, what I want is for children to be integrated into adult society so that you can go and do civic engagement. You can like have a barbecue with your friends and like the kids can run around and be safe. Like, that's what I would like.
How did you, so on this note of there's not that many people with kids in SF, like how did you end up deciding that you wanted to be an SF as an early parent?
I don't think I really decided. I think I got a job and I came here and that's what happened.
And life just happened. And now you are here. Right. But I mean, like I mentioned that because like even if, I mean, you can still be broadly in the Bay Area, and this is a trend that I've seen with most of my friends who have, I guess, now parents, they move to like the peninsula, right? Or something like that. Where it's like city adjacent, but it's way more suburby.
Yeah.
And like they're all kind of down there. So
I think two things. One, I'm definitely a city person. Like I love the vibrancy of the city. I love that you can like nerd about something very specific and you could like find your people because there's so many people here. Like there's some people that are also nerds about that. And then the second thing is that we were 26. Like we weren't gonna buy a house in the suburbs. We didn't have that money.
True.
We still have a roommate who's our good friend. And it, like when we had the baby, he was also our roommate then, and that helps with rent.
Yeah. Of course.
And so it wasn't really something that we considered.
On this note of most of the internet being like very negative skewed, but like there being these moments of really clear joy that kind of gets lost, were there things that gave you like very deep faith that was going to be the case for you? Like, did you have parents that like you looked up to before you were a parent? Were there environments you spent a lot of time with kids where you're like, wait, actually kids are great?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't think so.
Huh.
I don't know why I had such baby fever.
Yeah.
Pure biology.
I think, yeah, they're just cute.
Yeah, I met you like, I don't know, like a year, I think, before you had your first kid. And I remember asking about it. And he's like, yeah, I want a kid. And I asked you like, why? You're like, I just have baby fever. Every time I say baby, I'm like, I want one. It was like
it's like obvious. Like, what's your favorite color? Like, how do you know that's your favorite color?
Yeah, it's just like, you like green, I want a baby. Same thing.
Yeah, and I like, it's only recently, like this year, that I realized that that's like not how other people are. I kind of assumed that I would have a baby and then my friends would also all have babies, but it's been 5 years, and on this year, they're like, some of my friends are having babies.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and so many people are deciding. Like, I didn't know that people did that.
Oh,
deciding.
on the fence?
Yeah.
For a long time?
I thought that everybody just like grew up knowing whether they were going to have kids or like not. Exactly.
Right.
Well, there's also people who like, they grow up and they're like, I'm definitely never having a kid. That's just not for me. Yeah. But I didn't know that there were people in the middle. And I think actually most people are in the middle nowadays. It
People
didn't
change
used to be
their
like that.
minds? Wow.
Yeah.
They haven't made up their mind yet already. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know that you like, I thought that you just like came with an opinion,
That's so funny.
Like,
Your biology doesn't
decide.
speak to you this loudly?
Do you find this applies like really broadly for you, that you're just like a very deeply intuitive, like you know what you want, you just go do it kind of person, or is it very specifically
it's an
like
outlier.
baby brain thing?
I think yes. I think I'm also like, I believe in the type of serendipity where you like go out and do a lot of things to put yourself out there, and then like you like happen on this amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
I think I'm very much an optimist.
Yeah.
Wait, riffing off of Jamie's question for inspiration on, I guess, you didn't need inspiration from wanting kids, but like, was there an inspiration that like put you on this mindset of joyful parenting? Or did you just kind of, you got to being a parent and you're like, this norm is very dismal.
Yeah.
I would like to change that.
It's
Okay,
like
I
a little
see.
bit like irritation driven. Like,
I see.
why isn't this easier?
Yeah, I mean, like, a pattern I have broadly observed in your life is like just like feeling intuition about direction to go in, going to a new place, looking around, being like, the following things can be better. I will make them better. And you just go do things where like, they
don't necessarily like, maybe I like think something's gonna be better and then I do it and then I'm like, oh wait, this wasn't the right thing to do.
yeah, but the fact that you can own that is like already like fairly unusual. I feel like most people at most get to the point where they point out a thing that could be done better, and then they're like, well, I hope someone does that.
Yeah,
Whereas you're like, it's gonna be me. I'm gonna do it now.
That's true. The action
Yeah.
bias is very
Yeah,
the
I
action bias is,
think
like,
step
really
one is
strong.
realizing that like probably no one else is gonna do it. And then step two is like realizing that if you do it and you screw up, you can undo it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm guessing this like does come. I think some of this is optimism, but it's like a very engaged kind of optimism.
Yeah.
Whereas optimism being like things can get better because I can make things better.
I think it's like optimism plus impulsivity.
Interesting. Interesting. I love that framing.
No, it's true. Yeah. There's like, I don't know. I feel like I read a quote a long time ago where it's like that overthink, that pause where people consider it, like many ideas die in that hole.
Yeah.
You know, they don't make it out of the hole. But it sounds like for you, it's just, there's no hole. You just go.
And it's definitely true for parenting as well. Like it's not easy to take 3 kids like wherever, right? Like you go once and then you're like, like this part was really stressful. Like maybe I'll do this a little bit different. Like I forgot to bring a snack. Like it's like it's also a skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm actually very curious. We talked about the concept of having hobbies or hobbies in general. Like, what are your list of hobbies right now?
My hobbies, so there's like useless stuff I do for fun, and then there's like, I guess like more meaningful stuff, right? So the useless thing I've been doing for fun is that I was invited to some like housewarming, and it was like mystical being themed, like wizards and stuff. And I was like, oh, I've got this like pink outfit, and it wouldn't be cool if I had like a pink pointy hat to like go with it. And I didn't finish the hat in time for the thing. I also like wasn't able to make it. I was like gonna try to like catch the end because I like had my kids, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll come by the end and like say hi and help clean up. And I like it was too late. But I eventually made a pink pointy hat that I really like, and I'm gonna sew one for the baby as well to match.
You guys stay matching?
Because why not? And I'm also thinking about there's a local mom who sells helmets that they look really cute because they've got a covering on them that makes them look like a hat. So like her like classic one is like a straw hat. So it like looks really cute, like wearing a hat, but you're also like protected when you're biking.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, I should probably get one of those. And because I was like, I was wearing the pink outfit and I wanted to wear the hat, but I was biking. So now I'm like, I should get one of her helmets and I should like make a hat that fits over the helmet. That's my useless project. And I find that I draw a lot of like, if I'm like burned out and I do something like totally useless, like somehow it like brings me back a little bit. Like it's okay to be useless.
Yeah.
As for what I'm doing for, I guess we can go from fun to like more serious. I've been working on a swim map. So normally if you're like, oh, today's whatever day of the week it is, like I want to swim, what pools are open? You have to go on each public pools website and like download their like PDF and like look. But we would love to have it on a map so you could be like, okay, Tuesday evening, is there a pool open that's near me? I want to take the kids. And so my friend like did this manually, put it on a map. And there's actually really nice mapping software. We're using felt.com. But the schedule changes every couple months. Like, so I'm trying to do it automatically. So I figured out how to scrape the family swim from... so Rec and Park actually has this is probably getting too deep for the podcast.
It's okay. Keep going.
We can set it.
But like this gives you like an idea of like city infrastructure. So Rec and Park has a website that is separate from the regular website that is their like activity search database. And so that actually does have like a secret API endpoint. So I can pull I was able to scrape the family swim, and then there's like an element of like, I call this like secret family swim. So in some pools, there's like a big pool and then a small pool, or they like have a divider, right? And often there's a little like paragraph on the schedule that says, if nothing else is scheduled during lap swim, then parents and kids can swim in the small pool during lap swim. And then so I was like, okay, now I got to scrape all the lap swim and see if there's like another thing at the same time. So I've also like figured out how to automatically find secret swim.
Nice.
And now I just have to put it on the map. So that's my like sort of like still fun, but like a little bit more serious project. And then I joined my friend's company. I was like, this is like an unpaid thing. So I'm taking a work break.
Sure, right.
And I like talked with my husband about it, and I wanna have a like high paying job again in March. Okay. But until then I can do whatever I want.
Great.
And so I was like, oh, like this would be a great time to do like kind of an internship, like do a job that like I can't afford because it doesn't pay me enough, but like that's really interesting just for like some number of months, right?
Right.
And so I convinced a friend of a friend, now friend, to let me join his municipal e-bike company.
Whoa. Okay.
I started on Wednesday, and
cool.
that's been what I've been doing.
So like 2 business days ago.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Amazing.
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
Like what
It's like a little bit unclear. I kind of like forced myself onto him. But my first project is that they've got an API for their like web dashboard where you can see like where the bikes are and what charge level they're at. And so he wants to know like how the different API inputs are doing. Yeah. So I'll make a dashboard.
Wait, so does this company like have bikes? Like they own physical bikes?
Yes,
all
yeah.
over
So
the
they,
city.
it's not like Scoot or whatever, which they just like dump their like scooters or whatever in the city and then try to make money off it.
Yeah.
These they contract with the actual city itself. So they're not in any big cities. They're not in San Francisco.
Gotcha.
They're not in New York, but they're in like quite a few smaller counties.
Oh,
Gotcha.
It's like how we have like our city bike things.
Exactly.
I think that whenever I talk to you, I'm always astounded at there is clearly a really big difference in the way we make decisions. Like, and it's just because like at every point when I look at your life and I see what you decided, and I try to imagine myself in your situation being like,
what would I do?
no, there's a 0% chance I would do that.
My example of this is that I was like talking with you, this was a few years ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm regularly like an hour late for my Mandarin class, my like 2-hour Mandarin class, because I'm busy and I'm like, well, it's like not a big deal. I still get benefit out of it going there for the last hour. And you were like, what?
That is pretty wild. But even this most recent example, it's just like, okay.
It's a group Mandarin class, by the way, so it would have gone on. It's not like I was like making somebody wait for me.
So, okay, much more recent example though. Like I'm imagining, you were just like working for like 8 years, and then you're like, I have like a many month break now, and like I have 3 children. You know, it'd be great, an internship. Like there's 0% chance I would do that. And like,
but I have full-time childcare. Like I didn't stop the childcare because I stopped working.
I know, but it's like.
What would you do with your time?
Relax. I would just lie down, basically. I would like probably work on my own projects, but like very slowly paced. I would just like be so reluctant to pick up anything that involves an obligation on some specific time commitment to someone else.
They're not being paid.
Yeah, but like.
So like, I think it qualifies.
I guess. But presumably like, are they handing you work that like has an actual timeline where it matters?
No, because it's not. Because I like foisted myself onto them, so they're like trying to figure out where I can be useful. So I'm just like fully bothering them.
Yeah, there's just like something about like a joyful, optimistic, full send mentality that it's just like every problem I hear you talk about, you'd be like, how did I learn about this thing? Let me go work for an organization. Just like next week, you're like, okay, like I signed up for like the San Francisco like Coalition on Homelessness, or like I'm on the Ballot Simplification
really
Committee now, or just really just be like, I'm gonna go over here and do this thing, and just like it seems like there's like no internal conflict of like, is this a good idea? It seems like it's just like impulse, yes, and then you move forward in your life.
It's all a good idea. It's all valuable experience.
Yeah, I agree. I just like.
Wait, is the common thread here? Do you think like the way that Jamie is describing relaxing, like do you feel like this is do you get the same kind of emotional result by just like doing fun things and pursuing things that interest you?
I think that my like emotional configuration is that I have to be doing something bigger than myself to feel that everything's worth it.
Huh.
Yeah. So if I'm not doing that, and like it's fine to like, oh, I'm busy this week, like that's, this month, whatever.
Right.
That's fine. But if I feel like I'm not making progress, like, and it doesn't have to be much, even like a little bit a month. If I'm not making progress towards like some larger goals to bigger impact outside of myself, then I feel like depressed. Like my version of depressed. I've never been clinically depressed.
Right.
But, like I feel down, and I feel like I have to fix it.
I'm still trying to like figure out like what exactly the element is that like results in such a different life path. I think another element of it.
Perplexed.
I'm perplexed. I
don't think it's a different life path. I mean, you were an early engineer at like a very successful company, and like my life goal is that I would love to be the CTO of something that is good enough to be top rated by GiveWell, like something that has that level of impact.
You're right. I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say different life path, but definitely like the way in. Like one framing of it is that I get the sense that you are very much not a perfectionist.
Yes.
And I think that is actually like a really important delta in decision making, where like I think that at some level, whenever I think of doing anything, be like, oh man, like if I do this, like is everyone gonna end up being happy? Am I gonna be like super proud of the thing that I produce? Like is this gonna ruffle any feathers? Where you're like, I'm gonna do something, and like it's gonna turn out somehow. And if it's not perfect, whatever, that's fine. I want to like learn how to embody more of that, because it just seems like a more fun way to live life.
But that's also how you get better at stuff.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're anxious about sucking, like you just have to suck to get better.
Do you think this is a thing that you always like found pretty easy? Like the the idea of like, it's fine, I suck at this, I'm going to dive in anyway? Or was there like some kind of transition that happened for you at some point?
Oh, I think there was a transition.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there was like a personal family thing that happened that like I went through with someone I loved. And then I think after that point, I was like, you know, grades, all this other stuff, doesn't matter that much. Like, it's fine.
Interesting, interesting.
Like life perspective.
I have also had like a similar perspective shift from volunteering at a hospice.
Whoa.
Which I used to do. I used to want to go to med school. They didn't let me in. But yeah, like the hospice was incredibly because the people that worked there were like I thought I knew of empathy as like kind of a feeling, but I didn't know of it as a skill until I volunteered there, and I could see people that were really, really good at empathy, like something. I mean, that's people dying at the hospice, right? So this is like at the pit of like in the spectrum of human emotion. They're at an extreme, and they would know what to say.
Yeah,
they would know what to say.
They would know what to say. Well, they were professionals. They'd been there.
Right.
And that was just like incredible. And like when I volunteered at the hospice, and then I came home and I was like, all my problems are small. Like it's all fine. Like everything's gonna be okay.
Wow. Wait, I'm asking that because I want to be actually very interesting about this idea of like you experiencing empathy as a skill. Like from your perspective, like when did it click? Like what was the clicking moment of like, oh, this is like a skill that has a real tangible impact on people? Like, was it, you think just at this extreme, you saw like how, I don't know, like comforting it could be for people when they need it the most kind of thing?
Yeah, well, it's like it's little things and small things, right? Like I remember there was one nurse, anytime she heard an ambulance wail, she would cross herself. And I was like, that's like, she's being intentional about humanizing like the people that are in the ambulance. And I thought that was really cool. And like even little things, like somebody who's at the hospice would be like, oh, where's my son? I want to see him. Where is he? And then they would be like, oh, he's having dinner right now. Like, and like, just like being able to come up with that and what seems like a very like sad situation. It's like, I was just very, very impressed. It's like cool how good at stuff people can be. Like that's just like a general statement about humanity. It's like people have these like talents that you don't necessarily see just by looking at them, and it's like it's cool how like extreme that can get.
Yeah, no, I think that's cool because I do think that, I mean, I don't even like, you know, I spent a decent amount of time thinking about this stuff, and I don't even appreciate it at that level of like it's like a life-changing skill. I think it's cool when you have moments where you can like. It's weird. It's like the skill is like a social thing and how they relate to other people, but it's like you can sometimes. I have these moments too where I see someone who's really good at it, and I'm like, God, this person is operating on a higher plane. And they are accomplishing things that I didn't even comprehend. Like kind of what you're saying, that they think about things at like maybe like a totally different lens, and they're really good at operating within that lens, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, like when you think about medicine, you think about like treatments and like doing like diagnosis and like all this stuff. But like I like often at the hospital, like what matters to people is that, you know, someone came and turned their pillow over and then it felt cooler and fresh, and that was nice. Yeah.
So it sounds like the experience was both eye-opening from seeing this like extremely skillful, tactful empathy application, but also sounds like it was also quite transformative because it was very perspective setting for you. You mentioned like coming home being like, this is fine. Like
this really matters.
You know, none of this really matters.
Yeah.
So what did you notice like shifting in the way that you engaged in life with that perspective? Also, when was this? When were you doing hospice volunteering?
This was in university because I wanted to be a doctor.
Right.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I think having the attitude of like, oh, this stuff doesn't matter that much. Like maybe like my grades could have been better if I thought they did matter more, and then maybe I would have gotten into med school. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out at the end.
And one thing that comes to mind was something you mentioned earlier, right? This like it seems pretty ingrained in you that there's this idea that things are like control-zable. Like most things you can undo.
Yeah.
So even if you mess up, it's like okay, well we'll just like roll that back and keep going from there.
Yeah. Well, I don't think maybe undo is too strong of a word, but you know, you move forward, you learn from it. Yeah.
Most things are not catastrophic.
Yeah. Right. It's cool. That sounds like permission to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is the unlock.
Yeah. Whoa. All right, I think that's like a good place to leave it. So like we'll cut this part out for editing because we should have explained this at the beginning. But
That's okay.
To check out, we usually just do the thing we're doing this season is like how are you feeling right now and what are you like
taking away from the conversation?
Yeah, what are you taking away from the conversation?
I didn't get to ask you guys anything.
I mean, yeah, we're a little running close on time, but I mean, we're around.
It's my fault.
Yeah.
I talk too much.
It's great. It's so satisfying. So the format is just like saying like how you're feeling. It's like 1 or 2 words of emotion, emotional specificity, and then just something from the conversation you're taking away.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to ask the question?
We also generally give it a magnitude.
Yeah.
For how you're feeling.
Out of
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it gives some intensity.
Okay.
Do you want to transition actually?
Sure. Yeah. It's always like so satisfying spending time with you and just being able to appreciate your energy. We regrettably need to wind down because, we only have so much time. But on the way, I would love to hear how you're feeling and what you're like walking away from the conversation with.
I messed up this morning. I run this thing called Parent Circle at the Commons where there's the kid space. And so I've got 2 babysitters. They're just like high school kids. They're, my friends' kids. And I pay them to take care of the kids. And the idea is that there's an activity, like parents can come and talk about how their week went. And then because we're all parents, then there's like the community aspect of like helping each other out. And usually nobody shows up. So there was also a League of Women Voters of San Francisco board meeting at the same time. And I was kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, I'll just listen to it when I'm in Commons. Like usually no one shows up, we'll probably be fine. And like 4 people showed up. So when I was like leaving home and coming here, I was like feeling very hectic. And so now that's gone from like a 9 to like a 3, which is good. Nice. And then I guess my I don't know, you all are so like energizing and optimistic. It's like really nice. And so that like feeling has gone up.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe probably my default level is 5. So I feel 7.
Amazing. Love that.
That's awesome. I think I'm feeling very hopeful, I think, because I definitely, I'm not nowhere near being a parent, but I definitely also kind of had the assumption that like maybe it has something to do with like growing up in like a Chinese household where like sacrifice is always the name of the game, and like that's how you show love and appreciation.
Do your parents bug you about having a kid?
No.
Or like finding a girlfriend?
Yes.
Well, that's the progression.
They are doing it in order. Thankfully. Yeah. But I was saying that I think it's opening my mind a little bit too. Like maybe it doesn't have to be that way, because I definitely was. I've been peripherally indoctrinated into this idea that like it's gonna suck. I've always known that I wanted kids, so. But in my mind, that manifests as I'm gonna embrace the suck. Like it's still assumed to be there. So yeah, I think very eye-opening for me. And then like, I very much, similar to Jamie, I'm trying to lean into the anti-perfectionism thing and the giving yourself permission to fail. So I think those are the 2 things I'm taking away. Yeah, it makes me feel very hopeful.
I think the sooner the better, because when your parents start like getting older and having health problems, then if you're taking care of like young kids and your parents, that's like
double duty.
They call that being the sandwich generation.
Whoa, I've never heard that before.
Wow. There's no way to avoid that, right?
Well, if you have them now.
Oh.
Okay, step 1, get your parents to be really, really healthy.
Yes.
Then you buy yourself more time.
Right. In theory, you can do it sequentially if you time things.
Also, it's nice to have your parents, like when they're still in reasonably good health, to like be able to meet and play with your kids.
That's true. They can also contribute and help. Wow.
Maybe.
What a concept.
Maybe we should have kids sooner.
How old are you all now? I'm 32.
I'm 30.
33. Yeah.
We're all about the same age.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have had my first when I was 4 years younger than you, which is wild to think about.
Exactly. Yeah. So. What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm just like feeling really optimistic, both about like the prospect of parenting, and I think just more broadly this just idea of just go do stuff, you'll figure it out. Like as a general like life mentality, I think I have like a pretty default stance of like overanalysis and catastrophizing. So it's just like refreshing to spend time with people like you that are not perfectionistic and just like have deep faith that like the world will just like, it'll work out. It won't be perfect. It's not going to be the best version of it, but it'll be fine. And you'll have a good time. It's just like really, really warming.
There's sometimes I wish I was more like you. I've done like quote unquote research that I put on like the effective altruism forum. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that all the important people on like in effective altruism like read that stuff, and
right.
so after finding that I was like, oh, I wish I like put more polish into it. So it's like there's like sometimes when I'm like, oh, I should have like considered a bit more strongly, but most of the time I'm pretty happy with the way I am.
If the alternative was not doing it though, you did the right thing for sure.
That's
true.
Yeah. That strategy leads to more good outcomes.
Yeah.
Significantly more of the time.
All right, I think we got to cap it there. To everyone listening, thanks for spending the hour with us, and see you next time. See you.
Bye.